gonna jump in. So it's cool.
We are
Oh,
live.
look how pretty. Look how pretty that is.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here.
Yeah.
We're live, but if I go on that side, I can't see the people. So you're going to have to go so I can
will
see
go.
somebody.
Just give me 1 minute. One cotton freaking minute. There we go.
We got a minute. We're going to wait a few minutes. We'll see if people got the memo that today we're going on
James got
early. Okay, thanks, James. We are going on live at 1 today, which is totally different from our normal 2 o'clock situation. Because
our coworker needed to leave early.
Yeah, we actually have to work the museum. We could shut the whole museum down for History Loves Company. I mean, in my opinion, it deserves that. You know, that at 2 o'clock, that's what's important, is our show.
Well,
not
that's why we leave the building
not
normally.
the museum.
That's why we leave the building.
I know, right? Yes, exactly.
Oh, God.
Put these.
Hi, Patricia. Hi, Terry. Hi, Van. I'm reading my phone while
Yes.
we're multi-tech today.
We are, so that way we can keep track of all the comments while filming. So if Krista's looking at her phone a lot, that's why. She's watching herself.
But there's a delay.
Oh,
So
there's
I'm
a delay.
watching what I have done.
Uh-huh. Ooh, it's like that scene
Hi,
in
Anastasia.
Spaceballs.
Oh,
You know where they're going back and forth?
yeah.
Now? No, then, now.
Yes.
Now is then is
is
now.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Man, I need to watch
All right.
Spaceballs.
So, we traveled far for today's video. You can come over here.
So do I need to come? Okay.
You can see it.
Okay.
I can see everybody.
Okay.
I told you, it's don't get sucked into the.
Oh, yeah, there is a delay.
There is a delay.
Ooh,
Because now you've shown up. Now you've showed up. So it's a delay for
I'm
us.
having a true Rick Moranis moment. Like dark helmet.
Hi, Rob. So, hopefully we should be loud enough because we're not outside.
No,
We're in a building.
it's nasty out today, or it was when I arrived. I don't know how it is now, but
I don't know what I thought.
it wasn't great this morning, so we decided let's stay in and go ahead and do this recap that we had planned on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to stand quite so far away, though. We could come closer. That might help.
We can come closer.
We don't have to be too close to the artifacts. So today on History Loves Company, we are going to travel down memory lane a little bit.
Yeah.
Through the past couple of months since
More than a couple. You counted yesterday. How many? Today is number
30.
Yeah.
Yes. We need
30.
episode numbers.
Like our age.
We do,
30
yes.
like our
I
age.
feel like I'm looking back at you, so I'll,
Well,
okay,
just stare
I'll
right
see.
next
Okay.
to me.
So, obviously, 30 episodes in, we're still not as professional as you might expect. But
That was yesterday.
I
I was professional
you were
yesterday.
professional. No.
No.
So, 30 episodes in. So, thank you.
Yay!
Thank
We will
you.
not age past 30.
Sure. That's what I told myself. Then I got pregnant again.
Totally forgot about that.
So we are, this whole show has really grown and become something really fun for us. We think fun for our supporters out there, you guys, our viewers who watch this and tune in every week. We've got people who watch some weeks, who watch, every week, and some who only watch once and then never come back. But anyway, either way you watch it, we appreciate it.
Yes, thank
Especially, yes, thank you during this season of thanks and blessings and Christmas time. And,
I even watched your solo videos last week.
Did you not have anything else to do?
Obviously not.
I mean,
And it was highly informative. Nothing I did not already know. But
well,
you don't get to go around with a curator all the time. Even I don't get to do it that often. So I was like,
No.
I followed. If you haven't watched it, Amy did a video last Friday.
I did. Was that last Friday?
It was.
Okay, because you were out of town?
No, I just wasn't working.
Oh, that's what it was.
It
Okay,
was after
yes.
Thanksgiving.
Okay, that's right. So, so last week I was in the galleries. We took a brief tour of the galleries, just more kind of think of it as a long commercial to the museum. And today we are still in the museum, but instead of going through the galleries, we are up in Krista's realm. Doo, doo, doo.
To be honest, I've missed it. I literally, before we went on, I said, this is the longest I've been, and you too, been in a storage space in months, just because of the way things have happened. So we are in one of our 2 small storage spaces. You see the wonderful boxes. These, whoops, that's an artifact that I just hit, but that's okay. It's metal. So yeah, we are in
Tell us about these boxes.
Yeah, so these are, doesn't matter the color, they're all archival boxes, so they're special boxes for all of our artifacts. They all have labels, so that when Amy comes up here, she gets lost for like 3 hours instead of 5 hours.
Show them a label. Can you see that? Now see, this is where it's going to be difficult because I can't see if they can see.
I will find out in a second. Oh, there you go. You're holding it up now. Yeah. Move closer.
Moving closer. Moving closer.
It's a delay. I told you. There you go. Yeah. So there's a label.
Oh, and on the top.
On the top too.
Yes.
That's a listing.
I won't turn the whole box upside down.
Please
That's
don't.
probably not a good idea.
There might be one inside.
I'll just take the lid.
Take the lid.
So also on the lids, Krista has them nice and organized on the lid.
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah,
so that we know what's inside. So that way we don't always have to take everything out of the box to figure out what's inside. And that way we are able to preserve our artifacts better, because the less you handle them,
the better.
The better. And I can't do this 2 camera at once. So I'm going to
doesn't
turn
bother
this
me
around.
anyway.
I feel like I'm in a time warp.
It's the delay
so.
that's funny. So, see, the only reason I did it was because now we're going to have to switch when we show stuff, because it's going to be backwards.
Dang it. All right, well, we'll do that again. I'll move it again. Okay, for now.
Okay.
All right, so the boxes are archival boxes, and
there's archival tissue in all of them. They're all labeled. They all have to go back on the shelf that they are supposed to go on.
Yes.
So the unit right behind us, that is unit number 4, shelf A, B, C, and D. They say on the label that they have to go back on shelf unit 4A or 4B. And if they don't go back on there, it wasn't me, it would have been her. But she won't do that. Not now.
No, because now I just hand it back to you and say,
Usually.
can you put this up?
Usually.
Can you put it back where it came from?
But we when we first started, the system was, oh, there's an empty space, let's put that box back there.
Right. Yeah.
Not anymore.
It's very organized.
Very organized. Yes. And then we have a whole system database that we use and all that fun jazz.
Yes.
So.
And up here we've got our textile room, which you've done a video from before. The textile room. This is the small objects room. One of 2 small objects rooms, you said. Right? And then we have a large objects room, which is more like furniture. And just large objects. And then we have an archives room, which has our paper and photography and books and records. And
then we have a processing room, like the stuff that hasn't gotten cataloged yet. But I will flip the camera for a second, because we actually do have an in-person audience. Have you noticed that? Oh my Not live, but hold on, guys. What? You ready? Watch.
I'm so scared right now.
Look at all these baby dolls that are watching.
I was like, what is going on?
We got all these baby dolls watching us.
Yes, we do have an abundance of dolls in this place.
Yes, we do. And
some of them may make an appearance downstairs this week.
Yes.
On our first floor, because the cat's out of the bag now, right? We can tell them that we're hosting Santa, right?
Yeah, Santa's coming to our place.
We're hosting Santa.
Well, it's out now.
Not this weekend, but the next weekend.
If you booked a time slot with Winter Wonderland for Santa next weekend, you'll be visiting our place. But slots are full, guys, so don't ask us for not having.
Can't get you in.
No, but
I'm on the naughty list.
Yeah, the dolls we've used twice though. We've used them for Santa's workshop and
past exhibits.
Yeah, past exhibits and frightfully festive.
Yes.
So
yes,
they're watching us.
Yes, so let's start with what we were going to do today. So today like I said, we wanted to go down memory lane a little bit with some of our past episodes, and really just kind of, over the past year after we've done episodes, sometimes we've run across additional information that, you always say, oh, well, that would have been great to have.
Or I blatantly forgot to mention it. Or we just
forgot to mention things when we were doing, lives, because we're live. So, we get in a conversation and...
Squirrel.
Squirrel. We get, sidetracked by some random thing, in the basement or whatever. And we missed some things. So we wanted to go back through some of our episodes and not only share some additional stories, but also show some of the artifacts that we have in our collection that relate to some of the episodes that we've done.
And some of them, the stuff came after we did the episode, so it's like we didn't even have it before.
Right.
So
right. And when we're on the road, we can't take artifacts with us. They don't leave the museum, so it's not like we would have brought them with us anyway.
No,
no.
So
yes,
I don't leave. Oh, no, they don't come with us anywhere. So we kind of went through, and the funny one, the first one we did was the cemetery. And Amy's like, anything new? And I'm like, well, they're still dead, so no.
No updates there.
No, not really.
But on what I meant was on some of the people that we talked about, but I don't think we went back over who we talked about, so we don't have an update on that.
No, no updates on that one. We'll probably go out there again in the new year when it's warmer. Because I do actually have more stories that I've researched, but it wasn't about people that we highlighted.
Right, you got
thousands.
Tours and tours and tours worth of of cemetery. We could do a whole show just on cemeteries.
Yes, that is true.
Yes. Maybe someday.
Yeah. Lots of things.
Like, not a whole episode, but like a whole year's worth of shows just on
So, but if you guys
got a lot of great information.
If you guys follow us
She has.
on our Facebook page, which obviously you're here right now, and Instagram, every Monday I try and highlight a marker in the cemetery.
That's right. Yeah,
but I don't give you the full story. I just kind of give you a short little snippet. Yeah,
but those are fun.
They are fun. Yeah. So we pulled things, and I think we probably should start with the shillings, just because we had so much that we did not. If you guys didn't see the video where we went inside the Shillings house on Washington, is that right?
Yes, it's Washington Avenue. Yep.
Right behind the government complex. I love that video. I had so much fun.
That house. I wonder if it's sold.
I don't know.
We don't have an update on that.
I don't know if he listed it. I didn't even look.
Oh, I don't know. When we did the video, we went inside the home, which is just gorgeous. It's got some very unique architectural details. But going inside was just fun because the business that had been in there for years,
decades,
was moving out. And so there was a lot of clear space to really, just kind of take in the space. And sometimes when businesses take over older buildings, it's hard to imagine what it might have looked like as a home. And so with all of their kind of business furniture out, it made it a little bit easier, and it was fun.
Never really, it was nice. They never tore out a whole bunch of walls to like make the space bigger, so you did have that feel of the rooms.
Right.
So,
and this was the Shillings family.
Shillings Hardware,
which was on the square, which then became Shillings Restaurant. Of course, the family didn't run the restaurant, but it was Shillings restaurant on the square for years until now it's Max on the square. But going back to the Shillings family and the hardware store, is that what you have now?
This is the So
tell us about the photos.
Okay, so you're going to see a lot of photos that have never been seen before. This is Amy and my dream every time. Like, when this came in, I wasn't here that day. She's texting me and all this stuff was coming through.
We usually try to give each other space on your days off to not work stuff. But this is like, something like this comes in and it's like, oh my gosh, I have to tell Krista.
Well, because I think you thought I knew, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
so, okay. I think it was October. So a couple months ago, somebody sent us a thumb drive full of photographs from Marietta, and we'll show you the photograph that got them to find us in a little bit. But so we figured out all these photographs were from New York, taken by a man from New York. How did they get to Marietta? Well, and why are they of Marietta?
Yes, and what year are we talking about before we show them?
1899.
1890 photos from Marietta from 1899 around town.
So this is how we worked. She was showing me the photos. I came in the next day. Took me an hour to find the day,
exactly,
the year, and we knew who took them. Because the information was given, we knew who took them.
Who the photographer was, who was from New York.
Yes, and I cannot remember his name right off the top of my head, unfortunately. Sorry. So anyway, he was here visiting his brother, who lived here on Kennesaw Avenue, which I'm not showing those pictures today because we haven't done Kennesaw Avenue yet. But they were pictures in May of 1899, and we know this time frame, one, because of the events that were going on, but two, the photographer actually dies the next month.
Yeah, so it's gotta be before then.
It gotta be before June.
Yeah.
So anyway, it doesn't matter if this one's backwards. All right, so we were talking shillings. So if you guys look right here, this is the corner where Shillings is now.
Well, now it's Max.
Now Max, yes.
Max Restaurant.
See, you did that the first time, and now I'm doing it
I
the
know.
second time.
So it was Shillings Restaurant, and then before
Yeah.
that, Shillings Hardware, and that is it as Shillings Hardware. No, was it?
No,
Crosby?
it's not
it
Crosby.
Crosby?
It's Legs.
Legs. Leggs. Legs Hardware. Right?
Legs Hardware right here, and then
Yeah.
Fawn Rogers
Yes.
is right here.
Yeah, so this is North Park, and the image is in reverse because of the way we have our camera.
Yeah,
but
but you get the idea.
Square would be on. Well, I'm gonna do this. Square is on this side. So on North Park, where our parking spaces are these lovely
Here,
cows.
Here's a better picture of
There you
the
go.
cows.
Better cows. I love it with the muddy streets. It's before it's been paved, right here at least.
You're generous by saying it's mud.
Yeah, it's pretty thick. Actually, it is before they paved the streets. The streets were paved in 1917. So this is before that. So this is what the streets look
So
like.
I'll bring this picture back up later.
Yeah.
Because talking about another one.
Yeah.
But so the shilling, I wanted to show you that, but also before we get to the holiday part of this.
Wait, and also, were you gonna say what the event was, or are you saving that for later?
The event was
Okay.
Memorial Day, 1899, but I'm not showing any of those pictures.
But we could tease them.
We could tease it. Well, I believe you said you were gonna blow those pictures up and do some sort of poster exhibit.
Yeah, I am totally. So, but I think we can
I've
tell.
committed you to that now.
Yes, our viewers get first-hand knowledge of what will happen with these photos, because another reason they're so rare is not only that they are photos around town and during this time period, which is just great, and it shows some buildings the way we haven't seen them before, but almost all of the people that are in these photos are African Americans. And
One of them I do have. It'll show that.
okay,
We'll show the people.
Okay,
Yeah.
and they're all around town, because if you think about it, this is 89.
89. No, 99. 99. Sorry,
1899, Memorial Day.
Yes. And they didn't call it Memorial Day. They called it Federal
Okay.
Day. Like some federal remembrance
So think
day or
about
something.
this. You're in the South in Georgia in 1899. It's 30 years, but not a generation really past the Civil War. Generally speaking, around here, they didn't really start being patriotic for America again until World War I. Really supporting. Now, you had a little bit during the Spanish-American War, but really, during World War I is when you first start seeing the American flag flying again around town. So this is 1899. This is way before that. And so the only people who are really going to be celebrating a federal holiday are going to be our African Americans, our freedmen. And
Right.
women. Yeah.
And it makes sense, though, that the photographer would be taking pictures. He's a northerner.
Yeah.
So he's going to
He's
care.
like, what's going on down here?
Yeah,
This is great. So yes, absolutely. So, and there's like a picnic on the grounds. There's on the square.
and at this
They're all coming from. Some people are coming from out of town on the train.
Atlanta.
From Atlanta, they came up here for the event. They're getting off of the train station. They're dressed in beautiful outfits. The women are, and they're just really fantastic photos. We were so excited to get. So, yes, that will be an exhibit at some point. And that's all I can say about
I'm
that.
confirming. I think 2021 you could do it. Those are poster exhibits aren't so hard.
No. What do we say that oxes probably pull the wagons?
Oh yeah,
love
for
is
sure.
rest.
There was you could
Yeah.
see the yoke and stuff in it.
You know, I mean, back then farm animals were kind of all over, especially ox pulling wagons. You know, you'll probably, if you've been around town long enough in any of the restaurants or stores, you will see old photos of Marietta, and one that almost everybody uses is that cotton wagons. The cotton wagons, which actually there's a variety of different versions of that photo, like different years and different, but they're all cotton wagons on the square.
Right.
So a lot of farm animals.
So
I digress.
That's how we roll. So we were talking about shillings. You'll see more of those photos in a little bit, but I'm going to give you this one because the blue Post-its. So I forgot to mention when we were talking about the shillings, and I knew this story beforehand. One of the sons, Clarence Schilling, during World War I. This is the old German files on Fold 3, 1909 to 1921. Case title, German Suspect. Suspect name, Clarence Schilling.
Dun, dun, dun.
So this case file, per Fold 3, covers an important investigation by an agency of the U.S. government, later known as the FBI, called then the Bureau of Investigation. They included tales of espionage during World War I, case files for German aliens who were politically suspect, records pertaining to Mexican neutrality, and reports dealing with the alleged violations of federal laws. So, serious as well as far-fetched accounts will give you a fresh insider's perspective to the history of this time period. I love that, far-fetched accounts.
So it's kind of a earlier McCarthyism type
so
vibe going on.
So you have members of the community around Marietta saying that Clarence Schilling needs to be investigated because he's now enlisted, but they feel that he's a German spy and
You know how
espionage.
those Germans are.
I know, all of us Germans were horrible.
Germans.
All of us Germans. Although we've realized both of us are more Irish than German, so really it's...
Yes, but our maiden names are incredibly German. So
Totally German.
Can't get more German than each of our maiden names, but yeah.
So, yes, I just thought it was really interesting. So somebody goes, I wish that you would have some investigation made for me of Clarence Schilling of Marietta in Atlanta, Georgia. Schilling is now in the Aviation Corps, and it is said to have been very pro-German. His father is said to be a German, and his mother is to be of German descent. Mm-hmm. The older Schilling's initials are FEA, and his home is probably in Marietta, Georgia. What does it matter what your initials are? I can't tell if you're German by your initials.
Isn't it FEA Schwartz, too?
FAO.
Oh.
FEA, FAO. There's two different things.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
But this whole thing, it became kind of an issue that, oh, he's a German spy, he shouldn't be enlisting, he's going to sell secrets to the Kaiser and all this kind of stuff. And, I mean, luckily, I don't think there was actually an investigation outside of just double-checking. But there were members of the community, including...
They were worried about those Germans. They were worried about what's going to happen. And this is World War One. You know, World War II, obviously, you know what the Germans are capable of. World War I, you're still kind of...
So they sent agents down, and one agent called on J.W. Glover of the Glover Machine Works.
Throwback to another episode.
Which we'll show in a minute. But, so yeah, he wasn't arrested or put into jail or anything, but they did kind of keep track of him. But that German heritage is interesting, because if you notice, Amy is wearing a Christmas tree brooch. Then I got some Christmas tree earrings. We totally didn't do this on
didn't plan
purpose.
it.
But... we didn't talk about the Schillings, Mrs. Schilling, whose maiden name was Agricola, and their role in Christmas.
Agricola. So, you didn't have anything for that, though. I looked, so basically, the Agricolas, or, oh gosh, what was his first initials? Now I can't remember.
RJT.
RJT Agricola, okay. He came and opened up a shop in 1851 in Marietta.
I think he had a bakery, too.
It was a bakery. So, it's some sort of a... I don't know if it was only a bakery because they
might
have
dry
like
goods,
olives and stuff. That I saw some sort of a grocery on the square. Actually, it was on Cassville Road, which would have been. Is that Kennesaw Avenue?
That was at one point. Oh. But I don't know how far they would deem Cassville coming through into the city. Yeah,
I thought it was Church Street was.
Yeah, but yes, but I'm saying it went Cassville Road would go.
So I feel like it was Church Street. So probably closer into the square because he was a couple doors up from a lawyer or something. So
a lot of those.
Yeah, I know. So you see in the MDJ Marietta Daily Journal archives that he has, starting in 1868, even a ton of advertisements for his business. But all of this to say, we tie in with the Christmas is the story. As the story goes, is it in here? Yeah, Christmas tree.
Yeah. Oh, look, I labeled the
postage.
postage.
Look, fabulous. This is by Mary Schilling Adams, so one of the Schilling family members. And it was her memories of Marietta from 1900 to 1925. But in it, she says, Christmas was special because my grandmother, Julia Agricola, and her husband, RJT Agricola, who immigrated from Germany before the Civil War and settled in Marietta, started the celebration of Christmas by putting up the first Christmas tree in this part of the country. Christmas did not exist as a celebration in this part of the world. Christmas trees were a German custom and not an English or American one. So,
I think that sentence of Christmas, she meant Christmas tree. Because I'm pretty sure
they celebrate Christmas. Yes. So this is her version, oral history is how that goes, But basically the oral tradition is that they brought the first Christmas tree.
Right.
Now, we don't have any, I did try to look in the paper to see if I saw any kind of evidence of that documented, but I haven't yet. It may come up at some point, you never know.
Anything pre-war, we don't have.
Yeah.
From Marietta, there's no
But
papers.
it's a fun story anyways.
It
And you
is a
can
fun
imagine if it's a good German family in Marietta, and he's straight off the boat from Germany, in the 1850s, they probably did bring some of their traditions with them that perhaps other people in Marietta at the time had not seen.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? So that's always fun.
So, kind of those stories from the Shillings, we're going to borrow that again.
Yep.
So I'm bringing these pictures back. So when we did, I'm going to need, when we did the, Chinese laundry, Nolan sanatorium, and we kind of went around Max and Shillings, that one too. I'm going to bring this picture back with our buddies, the cows. If you look right here, you could see all this awning. Let me get a little bit closer. You guys see all that awning. That awning and cover would have been where Stockyard is now. What else is there?
Tycoon.
Well, a little bit farther in.
Yeah. The Church Street Market.
Church Street
On
Market.
Mill Street.
On Mill Street. That was what we called
Mill
it.
Street.
Mill Street.
Yes.
But all those they were the Henderson building, so they used to have cover there, and there was the Chinese laundry that was there first. And this Shilling book is fascinating.
I know it is. It's a good, fun
She
read.
talked about how there were a few shops on Church Street. Now, the Chinese laundry went from Mill Street to Church Street over by Nolan Sanitarium, which is the parking lot by First Baptist.
Yeah, between First Baptist and Tumlin.
Yeah, on
and
Church
Mayor
and Hansel.
Tumlin's
Church and
law
Hansel
office.
So one was a Chinaman's laundry that did men's Sunday shirts. I was told to look in the window while the Chinaman was spraying the shirts. He picked up a glass of water, took a mouthful, and sprayed the shirts. I thought this was awful because I thought he was spitting on them. And you didn't spit on anybody or anything. At that time, there was no such thing as a spray gun. And I'm like, makes sense. Yeah, that's how I would do it. So the men would take their Sunday shirts in on Monday and pick them up on Saturday to wear the next day. All the shirts had stiffly starched collars and cuffs and spit.
Yes, and spit.
I love this.
I know. But that's something to mention too, though, that you saw collars and cuffs were separate, and we do have a number of those in our textile collection, right? Collars and cuffs. You have a collar and you have a collar thing.
Hold on.
You do have a collar thing.
Hold on, guys. We're going to take a little walk.
Oh, we're going.
Oh, I need you to move something for me.
Okay. What do you need me to move?
You'll see it straight ahead.
Yes, I do. Okay.
So sometimes with us, you probably can see the space. It can be an issue. I'm working on that right now. So you would sell collars and cuffs. They would have fancy names. And so they're different styles. So you ready?
Is that it?
That's good. I think that'll be good. So here's a display case with some collars. So yeah.
So the shirts would get spit on and pressed.
Yes.
And then you would put your clean and starched collar and cuffs on.
Mm-hmm.
Because really you're wearing a coat over your shirt, so you didn't necessarily have to keep that.
Can you read some of the names of those? Because they did have names, the styles.
Style. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got League, Jack, Tar, Damdry Lion, Saxonia.
Nice.
Yeah. Those others don't have names.
So you would have these collars and cuffs, that you put on. We're back slowly, turn the camera around. You'd have these collars and cuffs, and there would be a button on the back to attach to your shirt. Because also, what's the dirtiest part of anybody's shirt? It's going to be the collar. Oh, can you not get through?
Mine's the front of my shirt where I drop food.
No, you don't drop food. You spill coffee.
Well, that too.
But that would be the dirtiest part, is the collar and the cuffs. Mm-hmm. And so if you have
the
a shirt,
sweatiest.
yeah, the sweatiest. So if you have no
underarms.
collar, if you have, that's what underarm shields would have been for.
That's right. There you go.
But if all this part here, look at this. I didn't know we planned. Oh, your shirt. Okay, so I have a collar attached, but she doesn't. Hers would have a button in the back.
Yeah.
That the collar would attach to.
Right.
And then you would have buttons down here like you do, and they would attach.
Right.
There we go.
There we go. So.
How did that work out so well? Dang.
Just good like that.
I know, it is. So, Shillings, Chinese laundry. So we talked about, because this one is another photo, we talked about the courthouse.
We did. We did an episode where we were outside on the square, and we talked about East Park, what was there in the old courthouse.
Yes.
Yes.
So everybody remembers the brick one. We've talked about that, the pictures.
The old school courthouse that you would see. It had the clock tower, and you see it on a lot of. We've got stuff in the gift shop with it on there. We've got.
I was trying to think if I had something in here right now, but I don't think I do.
Where's the?
Is there a cross stitch outside?
That's what I'm thinking. See,
but if they're not, but I know there's two down the other hallway though.
Okay, I'll get them.
But I think there's one over. There might have been one over here. I might have moved them. So, good. It's just us again. Forget her this time.
Don't
Just
talk about me.
she knew I was talking about her, but that's okay. So the brick courthouse, everybody really remembers, but the one built after the Civil War and that was modified to make the brick one, there's not a lot of pictures of. And there's really kind of one that everybody's seen before. This one is not very different, but it is a different picture. So this is from that group from New York from 1899. There's no wind in here, but Lord, look at that. There you go. So this is the clock tower. It was more centralized versus being offset. Big tree. It does look reversed to you guys. But what we do know, this is probably one of the last pictures of the courthouse taken before the clock tower was taken down, because the clock tower was taken down by early July of 1899.
There's the clock tower in a cross-stitch form.
Yeah, somebody wanted to give you another one. I was like, no.
These were very popular around town. I'm not sure how old they are off the top of my head. I don't remember. Probably 60s, maybe 70s.
Yeah, 60s or 70s.
Yeah, and so the clock tower was here, and so you see these three arches. This center area here really stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
They just changed the facade. So this was the original part of it, but it had a different roof line, and then they added the two wings on the side. Around what was the year?
So they took that clock tower down in July of 1899
and put this up.
And put that up. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So you already showed a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what we were talking about while you were gone.
Okay. Good.
So I mean, we have to show. Anytime we find a picture of that courthouse, that's like gold. I mean,
absolutely, because we only had the one.
Yeah, and yeah. So this one's not that different, but it is a complete shot of it. And so we did the courthouse. So our building, we're in our building, obviously. So why don't I show the picture that got the people from New York to find us?
Yeah. How did they know we were here?
I mean, granted, we are internationally known people, the two of us.
Pretty much everybody knows about us, but
it's true.
I mean,
but this also ties into the video, not only of this building, but of the depot.
Yes, that's right. Which was another episode.
It was. So when we did the Welcome Center, that building was built in like fall of 1898. These are May of 1899. So these pictures show a brand new depot.
Yes.
And along with it, again, it's going to be in reverse.
Not so brand new Kennesaw house.
But what it does have, and we have a couple of pictures of it. There used to be a balcony.
Yes, which we have the
iron railings.
Yeah, the iron railings. We have iron railings around the museum. We use as stanchions.
So you guys can see right here. It's supposed to, obviously, you can all read backwards. It says Kennesaw House. And look at these dudes just sitting here on the balcony.
On the balcony, hanging over the iron railing, which we do have around the museum. That's our building there. And yeah, there's the new baby depot.
And then you've got, look at this. So I didn't notice this, but so you've got a little hill that you kind of come down towards the tracks. They're waiting for the train has just arrived or to arrive from Atlanta to bring people. So you've got some African American
a lot of them.
community
members all over here.
So the people in New York, this was the only picture that they're like, Kennesaw House. Let's Google that.
Google it.
And they found us, and they had actually been communicating with Jan at that point. And so we were able to get the photos. And so it is, I mean, how many photos are there?
30?
No, there's more than that.
40?
It might be close to like 75.
That we got?
Yeah, because remember I had to separate them.
Okay. I need to
So,
look at them again.
long story short with these photos too, had to use my sleuthing skills, which is my favorite thing, to kind of pull apart which ones were definitely Marietta and Cobb County
Right.
and which ones were New York. There were a few New York.
Right. Right. Because they sent us some pastoral scenes and stuff that they weren't sure where they were taken. They just sent them to us thinking, well, maybe we could identify them as definitely being from here.
Yeah, so I think now I've got probably somewhere around 10 that I'm not sure of. I just haven't revisited it lately. But,
I don't
fresh.
know why.
I don't know.
You had time to watch my video last week. You could've
I
done
was
it.
at home doing that.
Oh, that's true.
Please. But going
gotta
back
sneeze.
to the depot.
Excuse me.
All right. Oh,
Okay.
hold on.
Wait.
Let me do this one first. Before.
That one, yeah.
So I'll get back to the
Yeah, you
depot.
go
It's made of metal and it's kind of rusty. That's the only reason I don't want you to pick it up.
Sometimes often we'll
I
wear
don't know
gloves.
if you're up to date on your tetanus shot, man. I don't know. I don't want you to get hurt.
I'm not, but my kid got one this week. Does that count?
Yeah, sure, by osmosis.
Yes.
So this is backwards, but I have posted it.
You posted it?
I posted it before.
Let me swing it around because it is cool to look at when it's. Okay, here we go.
So it's like a 3x2 kind of sign, maybe 4.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's, what does it say? You could read it. 'Cause I'm not-
Smith House Restaurant and Gus Fletcher's Music Hall off the square in Marietta. Phone number 429-9000.
Wow, no area code on that one.
Nope, didn't need it.
So, I was told that it came off a truck. Like, it just fell off the truck and fell off the turnip truck. And it came here, and we acquired it. They donated it earlier this year. So, yeah. Like we've only, not even earlier this year, like 3 or 4 months ago. So, yeah, that's a new addition to our collection of Marietta things.
Right.
In a house. Because people always ask, what was it here first after the hotel? Smith House Restaurant, Brickworks, T's Trackside, and Gus Fletcher's was next door. And then somebody said that next door was a place called Our Place.
Okay.
And I've never really looked
I don't
into
remember.
that some more.
I
But
don't
it was more
remember.
like late 80s.
But the
early
first floor for many years was also a series of businesses that you actually entered on the side of the building from Atherton Square side. There was a variety of different buildings on the first floor. Not buildings. It was subdivided into different storefronts.
Yeah.
So the hotel part was actually the second and third floor.
Here, why don't you keep it like...
So.
Can you bring it closer? I think I'm
Yes. Yes.
So this is a scrapbook, one of 4 that we have from Mayor Eastom's collection.
Dana Eastham.
Yeah, his wife was kind enough to donate these to us a few years ago.
And he was mayor. What were his years? 60s?
These are
70s.
Are late 70s. So
70s,
like
okay.
77 to about 80.
Okay.
So like if you want to come closer, you can kind of see.
Hold on a second.
10 years ago.
Okay.
Mayor Eastom walks away with Race for Mayor. But I've highlighted, again, I was smart yesterday, talking about the depot and Atherton's and our building.
Yeah.
And the whole, we've talked about revitalization and historic preservation. Let's see if I can lift a little bit.
Oh my gosh. Most old train depots now gone with the wind. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Isn't that funny how that came back around?
Yep.
Okay.
So you got Schillings here.
Oh yeah.
You've got our building. We do actually have this sign in a storage space.
Yes, it's massive, and I do plan on getting it on display at some point.
Yes, we are working. And then here is Atherton kind of being torn up, and it says L&N Depot will become a restaurant, which it did. We talked about that.
Yeah. So that building in the back there is where the hallway for the coffee shop. Right?
Yeah, and then this is the depot.
Yeah.
And then over here...
Oh wait, I do love this because we had this page open on
Yes,
the
you
exhibit
did.
because it's getting your hair done on hysterical walk, and then you got a picture of our building kind of in dilapidated form, but basically it was showing how run down our building was. Yeah, and there was a hair salon in there.
Yeah, you could see how there's kind of different storefronts right there.
Yeah, so it was kind of an article about the need for this whole area to be revitalized.
Yep. And then this part talks about Atherton being dedicated the first time.
Which are okay right there. Oops.
Yeah.
Yes, there it is.
So there's Atherton, which we'll talk about Atherton again, but we mentioned Atherton Square and the drugstore, and that's Regina Rambo Benson, who we talked about in the Victorian Village.
Yes.
Took me a second.
Yep.
She actually did have a plaque. They had a plaque out there to her. We have that plaque now because it's not out on out in the
That's
square.
Fred Atherton, who it was named after.
Yeah, mayor. And then so yeah, you can see we got like the original. So this
Dedication.
is November 2nd, 1978.
Let's see who was there. Joe Mack Wilson, Dana Eastham,
C.W. Marlowe.
Ernest Barrett.
Yep.
Honorable George Busby.
The
Mrs. Steve Tumlin, who our community room is named after.
Yep.
Dana Eastham.
The Warren and Ann Goldsworth, they were Regina's family, Jack Crowder. So yeah, but that was kind of what, I love this shot right here, what Atherton's looked like. It had that pebbly ground and stuff, and then this sign is back out there, and then I did the interpretive panels around it, and then you did the one over by the Welcome Center.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's another one. But yeah.
Cool.
So these
are always fun to
and
go
actually,
through.
you know what? I'm going to go back to this. See, there's pictures too. Oh, they met Mrs. Jimmy Carter. Roslyn.
Where's that? Oh, where's she at?
I think that's in
There
Germany.
she is.
In
Oh.
Linz, in one of our sister cities.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right. So, all right, I'm going to keep this because I'm going to come back to this in a second. So yeah, we talked about our scrapbooks and all of this. I'm going to take my gloves off before I forget. Okay. So the other thing we didn't mention when we did the Strand was the story
Right.
of how they wanted to put a McDonald's.
Yes, they
It
did.
would make our Happy Meal toy hunting much easier
Oh my
right now. If
gosh,
it was
seriously. Can we just put a plug in? If anybody gets Happy Meal toys from the Disney parks, we are both collecting those, so.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Because I was looking. Okay.
But yes, can you imagine a McDonald's on the square where the Strand is? Thank goodness the Friends of the Strand have rallied and saved that building. So
Yeah. No.
that's-
So
yeah.
that was a discussion. But when we had talked about that previously, you talked about how like McDonald's like to theme out things, and imagine it being in a movie theater.
Yeah,
and
that would be cool. Do you remember back in the day when McDonald's went through their phase in the 80s where they were all themed? You know, we had the rocket ship up on Whitlock, and then up on what road is that? Is that Canton Highway? Nope, not Canton Highway. 92. In Woodstock, there was the moon guy playing the piano.
Yeah. Oh,
This-
Mac tonight.
Mac
we actually
Tonight,
have
yeah.
one of those.
Yeah,
It's in a case.
So
yeah.
moving from Atherton's on to, you want to do the jacket?
Yes, we can do
Okay.
that. So let me close this.
Since we're talking about Atherton Square, that was one of our videos. Then, of course, not too long ago in October, we did a video on the Atherton's explosion, which was on Halloween night in 1963, where 7 people died in the explosion. And we actually have, I don't know if we mentioned it in the video. We might have.
I think I did. I might have mentioned it. It says
yeah.
on the tag.
Yeah. Wendell Black. He was one of the police officers who was standing outside of Atherton's, which is where the Marietta Pizza Company is now. He was standing outside when the blast occurred, and so he and the other officers that were standing with him were kind of thrown back from the blast. And so this was the jacket he was wearing that night.
You can see there's like
it's all
tears
kind
that
of
have been-
scratched up and torn from where he landed on the pavement.
Yeah.
From
that blast.
From that, yeah. From
And you
that
guys can
blast.
get a better.
Yeah.
There's his badge right there.
Yeah.
There's a better one. So yeah. I did mention. I think I mentioned it. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was cold that day. It was cold out there.
Yes. So, and then we've got a couple other updates over here. I'm gonna have to get my glasses out. Let's see.
I'm not wearing mine today. I can see though.
Here we go.
What is that one?
Well,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
what I did was I went back on a lot of our videos and I looked at the comments that you guys have made over the episodes and just saw if there were any questions that were never answered or that we didn't address because we didn't know, the answer to. So a couple of things that popped out. One was our episode on
Is that the sit-ins?
yes, the sit-ins and demonstrations that we did around town. And Jack Shields had asked if there was any documentation of sit-ins and protests against the Vietnam War or draft card burning or anything like that. I haven't found anything specific yet, but there were some editorials back and forth in the Marietta Daily Journal one particular woman, O.G. Rogers, was very vocal a number of times about how senseless the war was and how she wanted to, support. She supported our soldiers, but wanted them to come home and wanted the war to end.
Whole we support the soldiers, we don't support.
Because she didn't want them to die for this. So basically, anyways, I did run across a letter. It says GI takes issue with letter defending Viet protesters, and so this was from a letter back to the editor. Kind of in response to her letters to the editor.
Yeah.
And he was a Air Force soldier who was overseas. I don't think he was in Vietnam, but he was overseas. Anyways, he writes a very nicely worded response. And for example, part of it says, I wish, Miss Rogers, that you would visit Walter Reed Hospital and tell those boys that you are a protester and try to convince them that you are behind them. These boys were wounded in Vietnam, and many of them are ready to go back if they could. Let them tell you how their morale soared as your loyal protesters marched the streets. Did I say boys? I mean men. Anybody that could still continue fighting for their cause after all the trash that is going on around in the U.S. has to be a man. If you do go to the hospital, I hope for your sake that your insurance is paid in full. But it's also, there's also other things in the letter that are well written. And the interesting thing about this was, so not only is he overseas, he's getting the Marietta paper overseas to try to keep up with his hometown. But I get to the end and I see who it's written by, and it's Henry E. Higgins. And so Henry not only was a volunteer at the museum at one time, he's since passed away, unfortunately, but we also showed his picture in one of our What's in the Box episodes where we went through photographs from, was it
Hardy
Studio.
Yeah.
And so Henry was one of the pictures that we saw and commented on. And so the fact that, and this was from 1966.
That's
when,
early.
Yeah, it was when this letter, it was January of 66 when he wrote this letter back. So that was a neat little tie-in to both the What's in the Box episode and the protest. And then the other one that I had when we did one of our favorite episodes is the Marietta Golf Course and the Country Club, Marietta Country Club, which is now, of course, the Hilton Conference Center. And when we rode around the golf course on our golf cart, that was so much fun. And somebody commented on that video that the first original golf course was laid out and designed by Stuart Maiden. And I didn't really know who that was at the time, so I looked him up, and there's a lot of information about Stuart. He is known for, he was the head golf professional at Atlanta Athletic Club's East Lake Golf Club. But basically, he's best known as being the guy that kind of introduced Bobby Jones and a couple other professional golfers to the sport of golf. When Bobby Jones was a little boy, apparently he used to follow Stuart Maiden around on the course, and he learned how to golf essentially from Stuart. So Stuart was a big name. He was originally from Scotland, and he eventually
he designed a couple of courses.
He designed a couple of courses. He went around the country. He ended up at Peachtree Golf Club, I think it was, and died in 1948. And he is buried, though, unfortunately, in Potter's Field grave at the Eastview Cemetery at East Lake. So, which basically means he didn't have the funds or the family to bury him with a burial,
with a marker, and
So that's a little bit about Stuart Maiden.
So when we did that one, it was like the second half to the first half was Brumby Hall and GMI, and then the second part was the golf course. So our coworkers at the city are always finding pictures, and they're always bringing them to me. So we did get a few more shots of kind of the tearing up. You can kind of see that tearing up at the golf course in Country Club in 95. There's like a weird glare. Sorry, guys. But this one I liked because it was the pool. So there's a pool. Did we decide if that was the pool for the Country Club or the pool for... I
think it was.
And then...
Yeah, it was.
Here's another shot. There it is. So yeah, I mean, and then you can kind of... If you guys haven't gone over to Brumby Hall, they've really redone the gardens. The city grounds crew has done an amazing job getting the gardens set up. Yeah. So they tried to get us with the sprinkler system when we were there, but they did not succeed. But yeah, so we've been getting some more photos from them, kind of seeing the progress of that site, which it has been really interesting. So they also have a webpage now for Brumby Hall, so they've been showing the gardens too. When we did Wildwood Park, this one we're going to continue next year and talk more about Jonesville. But what kind of, this one's probably going to be,
let me turn it around here.
This is going to be a little bit tough because it's a really big poster. But let's just focus on, if you look at all this list of names.
Those are all, well, let me zoom in so you can kind of get a feel for what it looks like. Bunch of names of who owned the lots.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the lots, and then the name obviously corresponds to a number.
Yep.
You guys
Zoom
get an
in
idea.
on the number. Okay.
So this isn't the original map. This is just a copy of one that I have. But you kind of see where the runway is and the state line and all of this.
The runway would be this here. The runway for
Dobbins.
Dobbins right there.
So, and then you can kind of see just all these little parcels and pieces. And if you see kind of right there. So
Yep, I'll point. This area right here.
Kind of in the middle, it says like does it say 500, 200, something like that?
What, the number?
Yeah.
I can't read that.
Oh my God, right there.
That says 500.
I
think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the area that we were in when we were doing Wildwood.
Mm-hmm.
But the plan right now.
And real quick, all of these circles and lots. This is all the area that the government took over.
Yes.
Right.
Took or acquired. As I read this properly. I know I need.
It goes back to Bell. Back to Bell in World War II, and then it continues on because that's a little later, right? It goes.
Yeah. This is a little bit later.
So it's all the government property that they've acquired through the years, not just, it started in World War II and then it...
Yeah, so this is the real estate, Dobbins Air Force Base. This is dated 1951, but the land had been, they were selling it earlier than that. If you look on here, it says June 1942, July 1942. So August, when the federal government is coming in to take the land for what becomes Bell. So we kind of have an idea of who was where. And so hopefully when we do Jonesville proper, we could do that. And so what I've been doing right now is going through and trying to figure out, because we talked about Jonesville a little bit. Jonesville is a community that has historically black roots, but they weren't necessarily the landowners. So we're going to be kind of focusing on, why it was kind of easy to take that land because
and the border of the area known as Jonesville had some white neighborhoods as well.
It did.
It wasn't, and it went a lot further over than I thought. It's actually a larger area than I ever imagined. So,
and then when we were talking 2 weeks ago over at Marietta Park about that new black sub neighborhood that they wanted to create over by Southern Poly, it was in that area, very close to Jonesville, and historically was Jonesville.
Right.
So I think the last one, because I always say the best for last.
Hey.
It's the video where I had a little bit of a passing out moment. Sorry, everybody. If you didn't catch that, that was a classic.
Classic Krista, just passing out on camera.
I couldn't take Amy's talking anymore. I just couldn't handle it. Went up. So we were talking about Glover's and Glover Machine Works. Oh yeah, Michael, it's a really cool document. The map is awesome. I'm kind of working on the names and the genealogy right now.
Remember the document that my grandmom had to sign for my dad's entry into the Air Force, and the address had Jonesville. I can't read the rest of it, but yeah, I wouldn't see that, Michael. You better show me.
There we
go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Glover Machine Works. We talked about Glover Machine Works. And we've got patterns in the museum, but I actually have some patterns in here. I'm just going to hold up one.
So Glover Machine Works was located not far from that area that Jonesville was in as well, on the corner of Atlanta Road and South Cobb Drive. That area where the waterworks is, and they built locomotives, but other metal gears.
So they have to use a pattern though. This is wood. This is solid wood. You guys can kind of see all the different levels. I mean, it's got some heft to it.
Right. And the way it would work in their factories, they would
Yeah.
build these patterns out of wood, and then it was a sand casting process where they would set the pattern into the sand to create the shape that they wanted, and then pour the metal into the sand to create the metal pieces in that shape. So, oh boy, I have to hold something.
Because this is an original. This is like the day I found this, I took a picture and I was like, oh my gosh. All right. So, she mentioned it earlier, and it's really no secret. We love Disney. And I'm really, really trying to get a whole video for us to do Disney things, but it's just not working. So, this ties into the Glovers. So this is a hat. It's going to be very hard to see because it's very light, so we'll probably come closer. Let me unwind. So the Glovers not only, you're not going to see us for a second, but the Glovers don't only make patterns for trains. They were making patterns and parts for other things. And I'm going to highlight the corner.
I'm going to try to move the camera over as well. Look at me multitasking here.
Okay, hold on. Okay. I'm going to move this way. So what you guys can't read because it's backwards, it says steam valve, is it guide standard. And then it says, way down here, W-E-D Enterprises.
WED, as better known as WED, which
it is WED, which is Walter Elias Disney Enterprises.
And what is it for? No, it says right there.
Oh, it does.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So hold on, it's September 19th, 1969. This is for the Disney World Steamboat Engines, which is like our favorite place. I am.
Wait a minute. 69.
69.
69 Disney World, before Disney World opened. So this is for the brand new park that was a secret.
That opened in October 1st, 1971.
Okay.
I'm going to make an admission to you, though. I've never ridden the steamboat. I tried this past year, but we just didn't do it because the Haunted Mansion was right there, and I wrote that instead.
I've ridden everything at Walt Disney World. So.
No, she hasn't.
I have.
No, you
Wait.
haven't. You haven't ridden
Magic Kingdom.
A Magic Kingdom.
Okay,
yes.
Magic Kingdom. All right.
Yes, fair enough.
Rub it in.
No, I will.
I haven't ridden Rise of the Resistance at Star Wars.
So I'm pretty sure every video we mentioned Disney of some sort. But you know what, guys?
Obsessed.
We feel like your family, and it's okay for us to say that and tell you it's the truth.
We have a Disney connection with the Great Locomotive Chase.
We do.
Here in Marietta. We've got a lot of great Disney connections.
And the Glover Machine Works making...
Did you tell them what that pattern was, though? That you held up?
It's a wheel pattern.
Oh, that's right. The other one's on display.
We do have a pattern that is from the locks, but in my haze of post passing out, I did mention that in that video.
Yes. So on display, going back to that pattern that we held of the wheel, a similar pattern, a little bit bigger.
I can't pick it up and hold it myself.
Is the pattern for one of the locks at the Panama Canal. So, the Glover Machine Works and the Glover family really were international
for sure,
and they didn't just build locomotives for mostly logging companies, but they had actually their locomotives went all over the world too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, no, they totally did.
Anyways,
we've at first I thought this was going to be a short video, but
clutch my pearls.
I know, right? It's 5 p.m. It's always 5 p.m. at the museum.
Sounds like it's 5 p.m. Oh my, you have no idea.
It's funny, but before we started, I was saying some stuff, and she's like, "You're really jovial today." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know, just in a good mood. I don't know why."
It's Friday, that's why. And 'tis the season to be jolly.
All right, so a couple of things before we log off. Anna, if you are paying attention, it is your time to put the second link up. The online store is available. Please shop. The store itself, if you want to come see me in person today, I will be here till 7, and I'll be in tomorrow in the store till 7 o'clock as well. Next week, we'll have the store open late Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and all day Sunday. I'm not working that day. She's working that day, and she's training her kid too. So good work. Yes. But next week we'll probably be on the square. But next Friday is the start of Hanukkah, And so we are going to discuss the Jewish businesses around the square. So yeah, you will see us next week. It better not be cold. I don't think it will be.
We'll see.
No, please no. All right, guys. So thank you for joining us an hour early. If you're tuning in now, we're about to turn off.
So you can watch it. We're going to post it, and it'll be on the internet.
Yes.
And
yeah.
There you go.
It'll be ready to go. So thank you guys. Stay safe in this rainy weather today, and we will see you next week, right?
Yes,
All
indeed.
right. Have a good day. Bye guys.